First of all, I hope you all understand we beat a very good basketball team tonight. That is a good team, and they're only going to get better because they've got size, and they've got depth. They can shoot it. Those two big kids are really, really going to be good. And it just turned into a dogfight of a defensive game tonight. And I thought my guys were fantastic, particularly in the first half when we fronted the post. The weak side helped. The rotations were just excellent. We had some shots that went in and out, but we stayed with it. And we talked at halftime about just getting 4 or 5 more blockouts that we let go in that first half that gave them some easy buckets, and just keep shooting the ball and keep attacking off the dribble. It was a game where their size and our quickness was the two differences in the game, and we tried to continue to oppose our will on them at the offensive end of the floor, and I thought we did a good job of spreading them out. And I don't think there's a team yet we've played that's been as quick as us, and we just did a good job of attacking them off the dribble. They made some great blocks in the first half and second half too, but ultimately I thought we got them in foul trouble. Excellent job shooting free throws, and I just cannot say enough about Aaron Brooks and how he's played. I mean, one turnover in 2 ball games now, where he's played 40 minutes in one and 38 in the other, and his numbers have just been fantastic. So, again, what a great job by him.
With the experience in this group now, how has your job changed in the end-of-game situation?
Well, you got to understand, and we can go back and look at a lot of tape. Their experience and their growth through everything they went through, all the adversity, it really has strengthened them, and it's kind of catapulted them in the other direction. And we made a conscious effort last spring with all the running, this summer with all the running, just to toughen them up. And we knew they needed to have some success and experience some winning, so the Bahamas provided the winning, and that's where they really, really came together over there. So, we're making – I mean, you guys have been here 10 years. You've seen that high post ball screen quite a bit between Darius ran it, Darius Wright, Luke Rittenauer made a living with it, and now there's Aaron Brooks running it. You're putting the ball in the hand of the same playmakers. The difference is Aaron is making plays. He's making free throws. I mean, we're an excellent free throw shooting team. Malik missed 1, missed 2, and then came back and made 2 free throws. Tawan Porter is number 1 in the conference at free throw shooting. They're just closing out games better because they're a little bit more experienced, and a little bit more calm, a little bit more comfortable. So it's made my job easier. I can sit down a little bit more. I don't have to stress as much and just kind of call plays and let them play. So we just kind of more or less manage the game is what we do, and let them kind of take over from there. And I mean by manage the game, who's not up the line, who's fatigued, who needs a blow, and then obviously down the stretch putting your better free throw shooters on the team and putting your bigger defenders on the team at the defensive end of the floor.
I think you guys proved something to yourselves tonight because you played a team that had a huge size advantage. They really did a pretty good job of controlling the tempo so that you couldn't run, and yet you sort of basically out-toughed them a little bit down the stretch, right?
I think we did. I think for us, the Rice game started the proving. The Georgetown game was an incredible boost for us because they were big, and Georgetown controlled the tempo of the game with all their Princeton offensive concepts, and they were really milked the clock, and we beat a really good team in a great environment down there. We talked about before the game, you beat the number 1 team in the country, you swept the Arizona schools, you beat Lute on his home floor, you beat Arizona and UCLA in the course of 8 days. You're a good basketball team. And understand that as well. I think the thing tonight, this was a tough, physical basketball game. And when we go back and look at tape to them, I think they'll have a better understanding. It'll prove more to them then that they missed some shots, and Stanford ended up controlling the game because we didn't keep them off the boards. I felt like we could have got them off the boards a little bit and got out and ran a little bit more. Maybe we could have got a 10-point cushion, and maybe the game would have sped up a little bit more. But if anything, they are a very tough basketball program we've not had a lot of success against. I think if anything, we beat Stanford. So it's another milestone or redemption, whatever you want to call it. A game we gave away last year, we've come back now to redeem ourselves. So if anything, it continues that climb in terms of what we need to do as we head into the remainder of our season. And there's some more teams on there that we need to beat. And I think that's the thing that proves more than anything to us is just beating these teams that we didn't beat last year or we let get away last year. That gives us a lot of confidence to where we're at right now.
This is not the style of team that you would choose to play with, right? I mean, that you would say, oh, great, we get to play against a team that's huge and
going to try to control the tempo. No, it's not, Ron, but I think what it does, if anything, it proves another way to win a basketball game. And I think this team has won in a lot of different ways already this season. We've won it with teams that have controlled the tempo and really slowed it down. We've won it with teams that have played us all zone and forced you to shoot it and done those things too. So we've won it on opposing teams' floors. And I just think, again, they have an ability to adapt and tough through the game, grind through the game, and then close the game out. And we'll be in some more battles like this. Washington could be like this, and certainly Washington State could be a grind like this as well.
Ernie, Goods was Pac-10 Player of the Week last week. I thought Taylor did a really nice job defending. Was that a focus coming in?
It definitely was a focus. Bryce has always defended the toughest offensive player, particularly in these last few games. And He expanded an awful lot of energy chasing him around and keeping that ball out of his hands, and I thought he was tremendous on defense against him. And his effort, when he sees himself on tape, he will see an outstanding defensive game on his part. But I thought, again, all of our energy was great, and the crowd had a lot to do with that because we were a little bit fatigued coming back off this last road trip.
When you get into March and you're playing tournament games, does playing this kind of a game and having a win like this, sort of help the confidence you can take on any style?
I think it definitely will, and the thing I've tried to impose upon these guys that when you start talking about March, focus on winning the Pac-10 championship, because the two things have happened. The team that's won the Pac-10 championship, if you go back and look at the history of it, they've always gone deep into the NCAA tournament. And the second thing is our style of play in this conference, it bothers people when you get to tournament time because you do play a lot more freedom, you shoot it, you're more up and down, and I think teams tend to get a little bit more hesitant, a little bit more conservative at tournament time. So the style of play will really help us, but if you run into one of those teams that wants to control the tempo or that's tough or that's bigger, hopefully this proves to a lot of people that that's okay. It still comes back to who's going to impose their will on the other team. And the chess match started right before the jump ball where they went from going big to small to match up with us. And then sometimes they hurt us with their big lineup, and then we got them fatigued, and they took the two big kids off the floor, and they went back small again, and we just kept running and keeping the pace. So if we can continue to defend and block out, we can play this style. If we start giving up too many rebounds, then we're going to be in trouble.
Coach, Pac-10's such a grind one out tonight, got another one coming up Saturday. What are you looking at for Cal?
Cal is a little bit more speedier up and down the floor. They run great motion offense. They have two great players. People are going to really see an NBA player in Ayande Ibaka, and Anderson, the freshman, can really score the ball. So it'll be another one of those games where we're going to have to keep a very athletic team off the boards. And they'll run a little bit more, I think, but Ayande is going to have that ball in his hands quite a bit. So I'm hoping Bryce Taylor needs to get rested up real quick because he's got another challenge ahead of him.
When was the last time you won a Pac-10 game shooting under 30%?
That's one of them deja vu questions. That was actually a while back. I don't know. We just that's the first thing we said in the locker room. You shoot under 30% and win a Pac-10 game. But I thought our defense was exceptional. And there's going to be nights you don't shoot the ball well, but you can always defend and you can always get your layups and get your free throws. So the free throw shooting saved us tonight in our defense. But I can't remember the last time we won a game shooting 29%. But again, we found another way to get it done.
Hey, Coach, is it fair to say this team has exceeded your expectations, or did you figure you'd be 17-1?
I don't think you look at it in terms of where you're going to be 17-1, but you look at our schedule, and I knew, again, when we came out of the Bahamas, we knew we had great confidence, and we looked at our schedule, and we knew there were some games on there that could really bring us along in terms of our confidence, and we knew we were going to test and challenge. When we got past Rice, Georgetown, and Nebraska, we knew we had a chance to be a pretty good basketball team. As we've gotten into the conference and gotten past UCLA and Arizona, then you start looking about, well, we can win another. So each win, all it does is opens up another bigger window of opportunity. It puts a little bit more hunger in you to get another one. We don't want to lose. We want to keep getting another one. We won 13 in a row? Lost one. Now we're in 4 in a row, so we're coming. And again, whether they exceeded my expectations, not the way they're playing. The record, you don't sit there and pick out and say we're going to be 17-1. You're going to think you can win them all. But just with the way they're playing, they're together. I knew they were going to be together. Their spirit is good. I knew their spirit is going to be good. And we've got some really good players that are performing at a high level. We knew that was going to be the case. And all of those things are what we expected coming into the year. And we knew defensively we were going to be better because we switched and changed some things.
Coach, I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit more about the crowd. You mentioned it, but that period from about 18 in the second half to about 6, how they willed you through that period?
You know, and I might be a little bit more worn down than the guys coming back from that trip we had, getting back at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. But I think the thing that really shocked their systems also was school started. You know, we're like an NBA team where you can sleep in to noon. They get up and get the weights at 1 and practice at 2. They love that schedule. And then they stay up till midnight. All of a sudden now they can get up for 8 o'clock classes. And I thought yesterday they're a little worn down in practice just because of the academic side of it. So that crowd saved us in the second half. And we talked about that in the timeout, that this crowd is going to be great like this every game here at home. Let's not waste this opportunity. They'll get you through the game. Just start to play with more energy. And I thought they really responded to the crowd, and that crowd helped us down the stretch of that game. I thought Stanford got rattled a little bit too when that crowd roared up.
Hey, Coach, when you're alone with your thoughts, you feet propped up on the desk in the office, do you ever just kind of ponder and say, man, all the success makes the last couple of years maybe worth it a little bit?
First of all, I never propped my feet up, and I never had an opportunity to be that calm during basketball season. No, I watch a lot of film. I think with me, it's about a journey. And the only thing the last 2 years tells me is that we were in our journey, and we don't know where this team is going to go. And I think people need to be careful because they're looking too much back here. They're going to miss what's going on right now. And then when we get there, then we'll appreciate the journey even more so. Then there's something to be written about, and there'll be a book, whatever you want to do. Look at what this team came through. Look at what they did, and look at where they ended up. We don't know where they're going to end yet. But I told them today, they have a chance to leave their footprints here right now. And don't waste this opportunity because this is a great basketball team that's in the making, and they've got a lot more work to do, however, though.
Anything else for Coach? You guys all know, of course, he passed William Reinhardt today for second on the UO victory list.
Who?
181 wins.
William Reinhardt.
William Reinhardt.
Were you at school here then? When Reinhardt was here? 19 wins? That's a great milestone. As I sit upstairs, that just tells me that I've had great assistants, and some of them are running their own programs right now. You've had tremendous support the last 10 years here from administration, and this crowd and this community has been incredible in terms of that building, and we have had some outstanding players that did everything right. They bought in, they became Ducks, they came from afar, they came from close range, and that just tells you I'm the leader of the program, but you don't get there with all those other things there. So that's a compliment to our program more so than a compliment to me, but thank you anyhow. Thank you, guys.